Cooper Flagg is coming to Dallas. It is finally official. You can stop worrying about it. I understand why Mavs fans were worried over the course of the last month and a half or so. I heard that from a lot of you recently. I get it. It was never going to be anything different than this. Cooper Flagg was always going to be the number one pick. He was always going to be a Maverick the moment those 4 ping pong balls came up that way. If for no other reason, then he's a Nico Harrison starter set. He's exactly what the Mavericks GM wants in a basketball player, as we learned from him in his press conferences after he made the trade of Luka Doncic. He talked about how he wants to win championships with defense. He talked about how important it was to reset the culture for this organization and have effort be at the center of it. Those are maybe the 2 most prominent tentpoles of who Cooper Flagg is as a basketball player. He fits exactly what Nico Harrison wants in a member of his team. He's going to be the centerpiece of this Mavs team in a very short period of time. Obviously, he doesn't have to come in the door as such. He is very fortunate, and it's rare for a number 1 pick to not have to be the centerpiece right away. Kyrie Irving, once he's healthy, Anthony Davis, obviously Klay Thompson still a member of the organization. The Mavs are going to go out and get some veteran point guard, it would seem anyway, in the very near future to fill that void while Kyrie Irving is hurt. There's going to be a lot of talent around Cooper Flagg. He's not going to have to do this all by himself right out of the gates. And then he's going to have the opportunity to grow and develop into very possibly and very realistically a superstar. I think we're talking about a player whose floor is a top 30, top 40 player in this league. His floor. And his ceiling is absolutely a top 5 to 8 player in this league. And beyond that, what are we talking about? Top 5? And any one of the guys in the top 5 could very easily on any given day be tabbed as the best player in the league, just depending on what kind of season they have. He's got that kind of potential. And he's also very clearly somebody that is exceptionally driven to realize that potential. The sky's the limit for this kid. It is absolutely the limit. I think it was Jay Billis who said it in the last 48 hours or so. Why make the sky the limit? I mean, people are extremely high on this kid, and now he is the Dallas Mavericks' future. Cooper Flagg is coming to town. He's probably going to get introduced maybe on Friday, later this week for sure, and the city will get to know a young man that's going to be a part of the fold for a very long time.
Jonah Javad here at Dallas Mavericks headquarters. Late nights, Nico Harrison, the Mavs GM, just wrapped up a tad before 11 o'clock, decided to wait until the end of round 1 of the NBA draft to speak to reporters. A good night for Mavs fans and the front office after selecting Duke star, phenom, the top prospect in the NBA of the last 2 years, Cooper Flagg, the 18-year-old out of Maine. And so a lot of the questions for Nico were about Flagg and, the background that they did on him as a player and a person, and they're really enthusiastic on what he can bring to the table. One of the stories that Nico mentioned was that in talking to some of the coaches and some of his former teammates they coached him hard. And so when you're able to coach the star player of a team hard, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the team. I think that's, part of, the allure here is they can kind of build that standard here in Dallas. They really have already. 2 was that Flagg brings an element to his game of not just, ability to score and play really intense defense. He's got the size and athleticism. He's got all the components that made him the number 1 pick, but he's an incredibly efficient player, and he's got some ability to create shots. And that's kind of what the Mavs are going to be lacking here in at least the first half of the upcoming season, with Kyrie Irving still out with a torn ACL. And so I asked Nico, I'm like, what's the plan here? Who's going to run the offense? And he didn't seem to specify that it's going to be a one-person job and that it's going to be a number of different players sharing the responsibility of ball handling and getting into sets and quote-unquote running the offense. So there may not be a quick fix in that regard, but free agency starts in about a week, so maybe they have an option there that it can at least give them some depth and some juice at the guard position, because we know the front court looks really good for the Mavericks, not just in the short term, but for many years to come with Cooper Flagg. And that's another point that Nico mentioned was, they were in a win now window, and that window just got thrusted back open. They're win now and win long term because of the talent Cooper Flagg brings to the table. And I will also mention that Nico was asked about if he hopes that this excitement for Mavs fans will start to perhaps get some of them off of his back for the Luka Doncic trade. I don't know if that will work. I don't know if it will. Maybe time will indeed be the best solution. But that was brought up, and that was his answer. So we'll have much more from Cooper Flagg's team when he gets introduced by the Mavericks. And, of course, free agency, as I mentioned, coming up here. So a busy offseason ahead for the Mavericks as they look to get back into NBA title contention with the offseason just getting underway. And I'll leave you with this last image. So we're here at the Mavs team headquarters. They've got images of all the players on the roster against this wall here, and there's a pretty good spot right there opened up, right next to Clay, that could use the number 32.
What's up, everybody? It's Michelle Montaigne here from the American Airlines Center, home of the Mavericks official NBA draft watch party. Earlier tonight, thousands of Mavericks fans filled the American Airlines Center, and they got to watch the official Draft 25 watch party show that's aired on KFAA and WFAA Plus. You're getting a sneak peek of it right now with Leslie McCaslin talking with Jason Kidd in New York. And as I said, this arena was full of thousands of Mavericks fans that got to firsthand watch the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg #1 overall. This place completely erupted when his name was announced. And of course, all of them anticipating hearing Cooper Flagg be the Mavericks selection for this year's draft, first overall. But to actually see it happen and to actually see all of the excitement in this building firsthand was honestly so exciting. I mean, the last time that there were, so many emotions in this building was, when Luka Doncic was playing here as a Los Angeles Laker, or when the Mavericks were playing their final regular season game here. So it was just an awesome moment for a fan base that has endured so much the last couple of months and who was so excited for Cooper Flagg to be their pick. Now I'm going to show you around the American Airlines Center. Oh, here's one very special guest. Mavericks PR, they're the best. This is the exit line for all of the people already purchasing their Cooper Flagg jerseys. That's one of the Mavericks merch stores here at the American Airlines Center. This line earlier, you can see here kind of the last people getting in to go purchase their their Cooper Flagg jerseys. But this line earlier was literally hundreds of people long. So many people in line to get their own Cooper Flagg jersey, and in fact, getting a sneak peek here of where all of the magic happened. Let's take you around, show you here. Sorry guys, this is the press. So these are literally hot off the press, where she's been making the newest Cooper Flagg jerseys. Such an exciting time. There, like I said, were thousands of people here at the American Airlines Center. You're getting a look at some of the fans who are still here and just walking around, not only getting their jerseys, but there was a bunch of festivities taking place where there were concessions here and different activities for people to take part in. All of it just helping to build the excitement around a fan base that has so much to be excited about with Cooper Flagg, a generational talent coming to Dallas. In talking with some of the fans after the selection was made and things had kind of calmed down, and at least for the people who weren't in line trying to get their Cooper Flagg jerseys already, a lot of them were saying, it is still sad that essentially they were in this position because they lost Luka Doncic, but at the same time, there's just kind of a healing of how people are feeling, knowing that not only do you have Cooper Flagg, an incredibly versatile talent who, to Nico Harrison's favorite part, is good at defense, but you also have guys that he's getting to play with and learn from, like Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson, and the list goes on. Like, this is a team that is already in a really good position to compete if healthy, and Cooper Flagg only adds to that. The excitement of all of that was palpable in this building moments ago. Obviously, the crowd has died down quite a bit now, but it doesn't take away from how excited everyone was when the Dallas Mavericks made it official that Cooper Flagg would be a Dallas Maverick.